To end pretty soon as mediators work on a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
We have a thing called the blockade headed up by the U.S. Navy, and we control it.
But the president warned there could still be incidents coming from Iran, like an attempt to shoot down U.S. forces or a mine placed in the strait. The White House says Iran has been negotiating an end to the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz with Oman, though Tehran denies it. A Senate panel votes to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt for refusing to answer questions during a hearing last week.
A week after Anthony Fauci invoked the Fifth Amendment more than 100 times at a Senate hearing, the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee voted to refer Fauci to the Justice Department for contempt of Congress.
A subpoena is not an invitation. A subpoena with no consequence is not a subpoena. It's a suggestion.
Republican Chairman Rand Paul says Fauci's constitutional right against self-incrimination does not apply since he was pardoned by former President Biden. Democrats say Republicans are breaking with precedent by not respecting a witness's Fifth Amendment privilege.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A detective in Spokane County, Washington, says Aaron Farinacci, the man accused of setting one of the area's wildfires, confessed and said he planned to set the fire for weeks. Wall Street stocks edged lower. The Dow lost 464, the Nasdaq minus 15. America is listening to Fox News.
Fox News Books has boasted a host of bestsellers. Now, Fox News Books enters the world of podcasting. This season, the Fox News Books podcast presents The Miracles Among Us. For its first season, Fox News Books will present this special podcast brought to you by the author, Fox News senior medical analyst, Dr. Mark Siegel. The Miracles Among Us on the Fox News Books podcast. Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download podcasts.
Hello, everyone. This is Ainsley Earhart. Thank you for joining me for the 52-episode podcast series, The Life of Jesus.
Neil McDonough portrays Jesus. Stacy Keach, Sean Astin, Michael York, and Kristen Bell provide the voices for some of Jesus' notable followers. A listening experience that will provide hope, comfort, and understanding of the greatest story ever told, The Life of Jesus.
Make sure to spread the word.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Two voting rights groups are accusing a county in Texas of changing its voting maps after primary elections.
In an emergency filing to the Texas Supreme Court, Campaign Legal Center and the UCLA Voting Rights Project claim Galveston County officials changed voting maps between the state's March primary and November's general election, asking the state's high court to block the maps, saying the switch could move voters into different races, leaving some without an election and invalidating primary votes. Court documents show the new maps were passed in June, changing the existing precinct boundaries that Galveston County says will favor the interests of the people. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Hackers built 72 websites targeting employees at numerous financial firms, law firms, and credit agencies, according to Reuters, including Blackstone, Apollo, and KKR. Google, which first reported the hacking, said the hackers called employees on their personal cell phones, pretending to call them from the company's help desk and asked them to update passwords to get into their accounts. Another food company ditching dyes from its products.
For years, WK Kellogg has faced pressure to remove artificial ingredients from its cereals, and now it's happening. The cereal maker is getting rid of artificial colors from all of its cereals by the end of the year. The change comes a year ahead of schedule. Kellogg has identified fruit and vegetable-based juices that will give cereals like Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks their characteristic colors. Kellogg will also be investing in equipment that will allow it to transition to natural colors. In addition, Kellogg will be removing BHT, an artificial preservative from the small number of cereals that still contain it.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. A new kind of flu shot's on the way. The FDA's approved a new type of vaccine for older people, the first made with the same mRNA technology that was used in COVID vaccines. Moderna said it expects some supply to be available in certain stores soon. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
And slow moving due to an accident in Mobile on Government Street eastbound at South Lawrence Street. Also, we've got a crash in the right lane northbound Highway 113 just past Pine View Circle in Escambia County. Slow on the Bayway, east on I-10 from I-65 to the Eastern Shore. It's a 27-minute drive.
This report is sponsored by iHeartAdvertising.com.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. Learn how podcasting can help your business at iHeartAdvertising.com.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Wonderful town, wonderful people, places to go, things to see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Beautiful homes, schools and churches, entertainment, places to shop. My heart's in Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Mobile, the center of transportation, business and industry set the pace. Mobile's got the Junior Miss celebration, home of Mardi Gras and Senior Bowl game.
Mobile is great to live in and work in.
The climate's ideal for progress you see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town.
Yes, indeed. Here we go again. Uncle Henry's show underway here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you so much for listening to the show. I appreciate it very, very much. I really, really do. And it is as it always is. It's just you and me here. Just you and me here, just the two of us here, trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in the world around us? If you have any ideas about it, you can call me and tell me. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com to send me an old-fashioned electronic mail message. Well, here we are together here on this Thursday. I believe it's a Thursday. I'm kind of off with my calendar this week because of all the weird experiences of traveling and being delayed and all that kind of stuff, starting on a Tuesday instead of a Monday. If it is Thursday, as I think it might be, there is an event going on this hour that you might be interested in attending. You may still have time to get to this. You'll especially love this if you're a leftist, a socialist, a communist, something like that. There is the Doug Jones campaign is in Mobile this evening. The wife of Doug Jones, Louise, is in Mobile campaigning. I've got the press release right in front of me. They sent me the press release again this afternoon. The press release reads as follows. It says, Louise Jones brings the Doug Jones leftist campaign to Mobile with her Women for Alabama listening tour. She will, yes, there's listening involved. She will sit down with Dr. Kalisha Figures, the wife of Representative Shamar Figures, for a fireside chat. A fireside chat. What is it? Is it like 89 right now? What is it, 87 degrees? A fireside chat about the issues Mobile women and families are facing, including affordability, health care, and maternal care access. And this is happening, I believe it's going on right now, at the Fuse Factory, 200 Government Street in Mobile, Alabama, in downtown Mobile. So Fuse Factory, if you want to go and be heard, because it's a listening tour. Now, I don't know if you're supposed to listen or if she's supposed to listen. I don't know how these things work. I also don't understand the fireside aspect of this. I don't know if they've actually got a fire or what. Maybe it could be a video of a fire. But that's at 200 Government Street, the Fuse Factory, right now. Louise Jones and Dr. Kalisha Figures there. To either you listen to them or they listen to you or some combination of all of that. 251-479-2723. A lot to talk about, but we got some callers here. Hello, caller.
Hey, young Henry, how you doing?
Cliff, you are live on the radio.
Young Henry.
Yes.
I know you've been away a while, but have you been listening at this Democrat socialist mess and these people talking?
Yes, I have been. Yes.
It kind of reminds me of, I know unenlightened, but it kind of reminds me, because I used to, the statement terminally ignorant mean that you only aware of some things that detrimental to you. It kind of reminds me of maybe Satan going on YouTube and making him a commercial, citing how good hell is. It's the hottest thing going on the earth. People are dying and killing just to get there. You don't want to miss out. This is how bad this thing is. Everything that these people are talking about is detrimental to poor, middle class, blacks, whites, or whoever. These are going to be the ones that first start to feeling that there ain't nothing free again. And what poverty really feels like. But the spiel is so good and the hatred is so large for one man that they're willing to sell this country to the devil.
Cliff, I don't understand who could believe any of this stuff that they're promising. I mean, the world just doesn't work the way that they're promising that it would work. Who would believe this? Who would believe this stuff?
Even after you hear a man lie to you like in New York and tell you in Chicago the same thing. I'm not going to hurt you. It's like Satan, I'm not going to hurt you. Come on down here. I'm not going to raise your rent. This ain't going to burn. It's just a bright fire. You'll be able to handle it. And they falling for this hook, line, and sinker every time.
Well, Cliff, the world, the lessons that have to be learned are tough lessons, unfortunately. It would be
but the lessons are going to be learned by the ignorant black, the ignorant poor, and the middle class are going to get hurt too by this stuff, because middle class, the ones that have the stores and the business that these people are trying to take over also.
Well, Cliff, if these people get into office, we're in for a lot of lesson learning.
I know one thing, Andrew.
Yes.
You have to know who you know and what you know, because wherever I'm going through, I know who is going through with me, and I know who has the victory. You have a blessed day, Uncle Henry.
You have a blessed day too, Cliff. Thank you, Cliff, for your phone call. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. I was looking at and caller, hang on a second. I have another caller that if you want to try and call in, you can. I was reading their website, the Democrat Socialists of America website. On the landing page, it says, an example, speaking of bills, you wouldn't really have them anymore. If they get their way, you would have no debt. You wouldn't need health insurance. You wouldn't pay a mortgage or have a landlord, because comfortable housing is a human right. Your retirement is publicly funded. Food, education, energy, medicine, and transportation aren't for-profit businesses. They are common goods and utilities. All of this, it's such a fantasy. The idea that they're claiming you work as much as you're able and no more than needed. You would control your own labor. You know, the way this would work is 80% of people wouldn't want to work at all. I guess this future, we would all be poor together. We would all be poor together. Hello, caller.
Uncle Henry, how are you?
John, you are live on the radio.
Uncle Henry, I just want you to know I admire you to death and hold you in the highest admiration. And I apologize yesterday. I was wrong about those districts. Everyone in Mobile County is in District 1. I just encourage all Republicans or like-minded people to vote August 11th.
Yeah, and no need to apologize to me. I mean, I make mistakes constantly. As anybody listening will know, I make lots of mistakes.
Yes, sir. I'm just being humble for clarity.
Okay.
The second thing is this stuff with Fauci, and I called into your show right in the middle of the COVID, and I told people I work in medical or was working in the medical industry. Do not take this poison. It has spike proteins. Vaccines take 10 years to be tested. Masks don't do anything. And I'm sorry that some people felt compelled that they had to go along with this stuff. But at least the truth is being revealed. And it's not about me being right or anything.
Right.
I care about humanity, and it hurts me for people to feel pressured that they have to be injected to work in this country, which is so unjust and so unfair. And the third thing is these radicals, and they're getting news time, at least on Fox. I mean, there's one. They're all different races.
Right.
They're Hispanic. They're Asian, and this is how they do their trickery. They're white. They're black. They're Middle Eastern.
Yes.
But the things they say are, and they're not in the Muslim garb or anything. Well, at least one of them is, who married her brother. But they're in suits. They speak articulately.
Yes.
They're educated at American colleges to be Marxists. But this stuff's so dangerous. In Wisconsin, there's a governor, and she wants to ban. Well, she's running for governor, and she wants to ban Thanksgiving. And on record said she's tired of being around old white people.
Right. I've seen all that.
Hong,
Yes.
whatever her name is.
Francesca
And
Hong,
I'm
yes.
just like, yeah. And then there's another guy. He's not running for anything, Piker, and he's friends with the guy in Michigan, from Dearborn or wherever. And, I mean, he says we deserve 9/11. I mean, and he's in a suit. He's educated. He speaks articulately, but says the most blasphemous, divisive, evil things. And it's the American people have to wake up. This is a real problem, and we can't take our freedoms for granted. And that was all I have to say. Thank you for this platform to speak to your audience. I love you, Uncle Henry, and I hope you have a great afternoon.
Well, thank you. I love you too. I love you too, John. I love the callers of the Uncle Henry Show. Because, as I've explained many times, I'm not paid by the word. I don't have to talk the whole hour. And when you call, you save. Who knows? I might live longer if you call the show, because I have to expend less energy, both speaking and thinking. It leaves me time to breathe and for my heart to beat. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Many things to get into, and I'll get into more of them after we take a quick break. Let's take the dadgum break. This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. News headlines coming up here in just a few minutes, give or take several minutes. It'll be sometime within the next 10 minutes. Eventually, the news headlines will show up on this station. Telephone number to call the Uncle Henry Show, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. I was looking at the Democrat Socialist platform on their website. This is what they have to say about police. They say that their platform is to demilitarize police departments, disempower police unions, and redirect funding to public services as steps toward fully abolishing the police and prison system, which protects the rich and jails the poor. Treat drug addiction and mental illness as health issues and not crimes. End qualified immunity and empower citizen oversight bodies with real authority over the police. So it's an abolish the police thing. And at first I started thinking, I thought, well, what if we abolish the police? What if somebody comes in and wants to steal all my stuff? And they do. Who would I call? But then I realized that under their system, I wouldn't have nothing. So nobody would be breaking in to take my stuff because I wouldn't have anything. But what if somebody came in and murdered me? Would anybody try to catch them and stop them? Well, I'll have to keep reading the website and see what happens if somebody would come. Who would they send over a counselor? Would the murderer be counseled as to why it was not good to kill me? I don't know. These would be questions. Maybe I need to interview some of these people. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Now, if you're out in traffic, if you're driving on the interstate, and you have to be on the Bayway, there was an update yesterday on the Fantasy Bridge, the bridge that allegedly will get built sometime in the next several years. I've got the story from Fox 10. They had a meeting of the Metropolitan Planning Organization yesterday. So let me share with you what Fox 10 reported on the effort to build a brand new bridge.
New now at 5, Mobile River Bridge project is taking a step forward.
The Mobile Metropolitan Planning Organization voting to formally accept changes.
Our Brendan Kirby has been following all of this for you. Brendan, this is more of a procedural step.
It is, Lenise and Cameron, but as you said, it's a necessary one. Only projects in the MPO's Transportation Improvement Program are eligible for federal funding, and the bridge is going to require massive amounts of federal money. State transportation officials say they're on track for an October groundbreaking.
An October groundbreaking.
The Mobile Metropolitan Planning Organization voted Wednesday to amend the Mobile River Bridge project to reflect a change in cost and altered details. It was a far cry from an MPO meeting in 2019 when angry protesters showed up to oppose tolls.
We hope that you will vote not to go forward with the I-10 toll project.
It's drastically different, but yeah, we're excited to be here. We were excited to work with the MPOs to be able to get to this point.
Edwin Perry, director of the bridge project, says the state is in the process of submitting the final paperwork. That documentation is needed to secure hundreds of millions of dollars in federal grants already awarded and federally backed low-interest loans that the state expects to use to help pay for the project. The $3.5 billion budget includes the $3.2 billion that the contractor will receive.
This is all this government money. If the Democratic Socialists were in charge, would we still need the bridge? Or would we all be just walking around? Would we be bicycling over it? I wonder if I need to ask these Democrat Socialists about that. Would there be a lot more bicycling?
Kind of the last piece to be able to finalize those documents. So we've submitted a lot of that information, but with this approval, that's able to continue moving forward.
Perry says the Alabama Department of Transportation hopes everything will be finalized by the middle of next month, and then it will issue a notice to proceed to the contractor in October. The cable-stayed bridge will rise 215 feet over the Mobile River and carry 3 lanes of traffic in both directions. Rather than building a new bayway as originally planned, the state will now restripe the existing span to allow for 3 lanes in both directions. Some early signs already are visible. The contractor, Kowit Massman Trailer, has a temporary office near the Wallace Tunnel and will soon bring trailers for a field office to state-owned land off of Royal Street. Workers have been driving test pilings into the ground. Mobile Mayor Spiro Charigatis, vice chairman of the MPO, says he knows many people still don't like tolls, but he says opposition has been quieter this time because the rates, $3 per crossing for drivers with Algo passes, are lower than the 2019 plan.
By the way, I still have my no tolls cape. I still have the cape, but I realize that I would be one of the very few annoyed by the tolls. So I guess maybe I should put maybe I could see if they want the cape for the museum eventually.
One thing's clear, he says, the bridge is critical and not just for summer travelers.
The talking point of this being a military corridor is not just a talking point, that is reality. And, you know, when it comes to national safety, I don't think we can spare any expense.
Separate from the bridge and Bayway, AlDOT plans to widen I-10 from the Daphne exit.
By the way, I'm sorry to interrupt again because I'm fixing to go in the news headlines. I've been paying attention to this story for a long time. I haven't heard anybody use the phrase military corridor before. Now, I've heard many other arguments for building it. I've never heard military corridor and national defense brought up in this. So if they should have been talking like this a long time ago. We might have got it built a few years earlier.
Separate from the bridge and Bayway, AlDOT plans to widen I-10 from the Daphne exit to Malbus to maintain 3 lanes all the way to Alabama 181. State officials say they expect to award a contract of about $45 million by December. That means construction is slated to start sometime in the spring. It'll take about 2 years to complete. Reporting live in the studio, Brendan Kirby, Fox 10 News.
Okay, so if this is not actually a fantasy, then construction in the spring. All right. Now, just got to get with my doctor and see if I can live to see this thing built. All right, there is more to come, but first let's get into some news headlines and more as the Uncle Henry Show proceeds forward. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM. You can also hear me on FM radio Monday through Friday. I'm on 95 KSJ playing today's hottest country. Now, if you're a big fan of Ella Langley, many people in the country have fallen in love with Ella Langley and her beautiful music. Tomorrow, 95 KSJ is going to have the iHeart Country world premiere of a new song. It is a duet. It is a Co-Wetzel Ella Langley collaboration. So it's brand new music from Ella Langley. In fact, she says that she and Co-Wetzel co-wrote the song together, that they are good friends. So that is tomorrow. New song from Co-Wetzel, and Ella Langley will be playing it numerous times tomorrow on 95 KSJ. Now, also tomorrow, concerning 95 KSJ, me and Shelby Mitchell, we are going to be at the Jennifer Claire Moore Foundation's 26th annual professional rodeo, which is going on tonight, tomorrow night, and Saturday night at the Robertsdale Arena in Robertsdale. Bull riding, bronc riding, calf roping, all the rodeo fun, all these rodeo pros. It's a big fundraiser for Jennifer Claire Moore Foundation. They help at-risk kids in the Baldwin County schools and the peer helper programs. They've been doing great work for many years there in Baldwin County. It's a great cause. And looking forward to it. We're going to be set up. If you're going to the rodeo tomorrow evening, the rodeo action starts at 7:30 p.m. We are going to be set up in a 95 KSJ tent in the rodeo vendor area, right outside the Robertsdale Arena. I think starting at 5 o'clock. Now, I've been to rodeos. I don't think I've ever been to a rodeo vendor area. So I don't know exactly I don't know if I can buy myself a saddle or cowboy boots. I don't know what you buy at a rodeo vendor area, but I'll be there. So if you're going to the rodeo tomorrow evening, please stop in and say hello to me and Shelby. We're going to be there for several hours starting at 5 o'clock at the Robertsdale Arena for the big professional rodeo. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. That's 251-479-2723. Got a voicemail came in just a few minutes ago.
Hey, good afternoon, Uncle Henry. This is RT from Midtown. I just had a quick thought on these communists wanting to empty all our prisons. You know, I believe the real reason is so they can provide bed space for people like you and me who love to talk too much. Think about it. Anyway, just a thought. Roll Tide Roll. Have a great weekend.
Roll Tide Roll. Yeah, they wouldn't call it a prison. Now, when I was on their website earlier, the Democrat Socialists of America website, they want to get rid of prisons, they say. But you and I, RT, we would need to be re-educated. So I'm sure there would be some type of re-education facility. And you and I might not want to be re-educated, so they might have to have locks. They might have to have bars and locks to keep us there like we was animals or something, so that we could be properly re-educated to learn about how it's so good. And this is what housing, on their website it says housing is a human right, that they would build new, publicly owned social housing. Social housing. I hope they're going to have, I hope it's not a social bathroom, because their plan is going to fall apart as soon as people have to wait to go to the bathroom. They would strictly regulate investment properties, establish universal rent control, and you'd have a guaranteed right to counsel if you are a tenant. So I guess in their system, somebody is still allowed to be rich, I guess, because otherwise, who's going to control the society? They're not going to let the people really have control now. Not how that works. And it really doesn't work that way here now anyway. RT, thank you for your voicemail. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976 to leave a message for the Uncle Henry Show. While I'm in the voicemails, let me go to another one. This is a voicemail. This is not about communism, but a different topic.
Andrew, this here's different. You know, with everything now is made a lot worse than it used to be.
Everything now made a lot worse than it used to be?
Everything now is made a lot worse than it used to be.
Now, not everything. Now, I hate to disagree with you right in the beginning. Now, cars, they're doing a lot of things to cars and trucks that I don't like wanting to be able to turn it off remotely. That's really hate that part. There's a lot of things that we have done in our vehicles that I don't like. But just generally speaking, there's a lot of Americans that are way younger than us that the idea that you would get in your car and it wouldn't start, they can't relate to that. Because cars generally are better in terms of starting and all that kind of stuff. Now, they've tried to make it hard to work on your car. In fact, a lot of the companies that make cars, their CEOs have come out and said, we don't want you working on your car. So I don't like that. But there are some things that are, cars, I think, are more reliable than they used to be. But I do agree that appliances and other things are lousier than they used to be. All right, let me get back to your voicemail.
Now is made a lot worse than it used to be. The blankification of American products. I use the S word, Henry. I'm not going to use on your radio program. But, Henry, everything's basically a big old steamy pile of a load of crap. You know what's a lot better than it has been in decades? And this is a true sign that our lizard people overlords truly hate and despise us. That is packaging. Plastic packaging. You know, Henry, the screwdriver you buy or the pair of scissors you buy, the packaging, they package that stuff in now. That plastic envelope packaging, you can't get in it with a daggum hand grenade. I mean, the packaging will outlast what you paid $50 for that's inside of it. I mean, my gosh. Henry, can we ever catch a break? Anyway, you have a good day.
All right, Buford, thank you very much for your voicemail. I do agree that a lot of products are worser than they've been. Many of them seem to be designed to not last. There are some elements in a lot of appliances, kitchen appliances, washers and dryers, even HVAC systems, with not all, but some companies, HVAC systems, a lot of the stuff seems designed to wear out. And then you find out that the replacement part, if a part goes bad, the replacement part is thousands of dollars. Almost not enough to make you buy a new one, but enough that you might need a payday loan or something to take care of. So I've noticed this, but your point on the packaging. Yes, I've noticed. You're talking about the plastic packaging, just cardboard and paper packaging. A lot of times I'll buy a product and it will have 3/4 of the object is packaging. And I don't quite understand it. I don't know why so many consumer products have to be packaged to where the item would fit in 1/5 of the package, and the rest of it is just a bunch of packaging. I don't. Maybe they feel like they can charge you more when they give you a lot of cardboard with it and plastic. Anyway, thank you very much for your voicemail. The voicemail number is 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976. But yes, I wish I could buy appliances that lasted as long as the old appliances. In fact, I still have a dryer, a clothes dryer, that I have in my home right now. Now, this was given to me 15 years ago, I believe, my elderly mother was getting a new dryer, and so she said, "Hey, would you like my dryer?" I said, "Sure." That's how I react when I'm given free appliances. Sure, I'll take a free appliance. So this dryer, it was used when I got it 15 years ago. And I wash and dry a lot of stuff, especially having owned a couple of dogs. I wash and dry a lot of stuff all the time. So it has been in that laundry room for 15 years, and it is still, it shows no sign of wear and tear at all at this point. Still goes, and I've had renters in that house. I've had renters use it. Renters, they're not as gentle with appliances and things when they don't own them. That thing is still going strong. And I'll talk to people that buy brand new items like that they claim wear out in 2 or 3 years. So yeah, I'd like more reliable appliances. All right, look, I'm late on the break. Let me take a brief time out and then back with more Uncle Henry Show. The Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM. We have news headlines coming up here in about 5 minutes, give or take several minutes. And then more Uncle Henry Show. Now, over the past couple of years, we've had somebody call the show from time to time and be a guest on the show a few times, and that is a man named Snake Trapper. Look him up on Facebook. It's 2 words. First word is snake. The second word is trapper. Look him up on Facebook. I've got a story here I want to share for him. This is from Fox News. The state of Florida, their Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission has announced the winners of the 2026 Python Hunt. This is something I wish I could do some kind of a GoFundMe or something to raise money to get Snake Trapper down there to take part in one of these python hunts. But let's listen to Fox Report on the winners of the 2026 Python Hunt.
It was like a Medusa party, says the winner of this year's Florida Python Challenge. Wandering through the sawgrass and spotting nests of Burmese pythons, 100 hatchlings at a time, growing 6 to 9 feet long, Tom Rahill walks away from the Florida Everglades bagging 96 Burmese pythons and a $10,000 prize.
Well, I'm pausing there. He got 96 Burmese. That's pretty good. That is some good snake trapping if you got yourself 96 Burmese pythons.
And that was after surgery on both hips. One of 900 snake hunters who removed 300 invasive Burmese pythons from South Florida in this.
No, wait a minute. I'm pausing again. They only had what? Did she say 300? And this one guy, it sounds like he accounted for almost a third of them.
Year's 10-day challenge, the longest python, bagged by Rom Levinson, 16 feet 5 inches. Rahill does it to bring veterans and first responders together in his nonprofit, Swamp Apes. Therese Crowley, Fox News.
All right. Sounds like a good time. It sounds like a good time, and you're doing something good. You're helping Florida by getting snakes out of there. I know a lot of the women folk in Florida probably love the idea that there's a bunch of people in those Everglades trying to get those snakes out of there. Congratulations to the people that participated and the guy that won the prize. All right, going to go into the news headlines coming up here in about a minute, and then more Uncle Henry Show as the Uncle Henry Show continues here on this beautiful Thursday.